Woo! Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you. I'm finna head into work in a little bit. Hopping right into the video, though. We talking about corrections from an inmate standpoint. You know, I know I drop a lot of videos catering to the officers and whatnot, but we're going to talk about the inmates and how, you know, going to prison may be the best thing for some people, you know. Somebody that's going down the wrong path, they on bullshit, out here doing dumb shit, throwing their life away. They on a fucking crash course towards disaster, man. Sometimes having to sit down, you know, and going to prison is the best thing for some people, you know, because otherwise they gonna end up in the grave. They're gonna end up dead, you know, lost to the streets, doing whatever they doing, you know. I've had inmates personally tell me in my years working as a correctional officer, they've told me, you know, just talking, you know, shooting the shit on the unit, talking to some of these inmates. They've actually told me that going to prison was the best thing that ever happened to them, you know, because they was going to end up dead, you know, just from the lifestyle they was living, you know, the things that they were doing when they were on the street, you know, committing crime, robbing, in gangs, gang wars, shootouts, shit like that, man, selling dope, having to worry about rival drug dealers, all that type of shit, you know. And I say going to prison can be a good thing just because when you in a prison setting, you know, it's a lot of structure. You know, you taking somebody that's on the street, not really having no structure. They doing whatever they want. You know, they may be out all night, sleeping all through the afternoon, selling drugs, eating however they want to eat, you know, not really focused on their health. They don't really care about that shit. You put them in a prison environment, you know, take away their freedom. Now they in a structured routine environment. We tell them when to eat, when to go to bed, you know, when they got to do this and that, you know. Let's be honest though, you know, I will say that a lot of inmates end up reoffending. You know, they get out and they come right back. I seen that shit plenty of times, you know. But for all of them inmates, you know, let's talk about some of the inmates that actually go out and they go to prison, they become a better person. They come up with a plan for when they get out and they actually become productive, conductive people, you know, to society. They go back out there and they start doing positive things and whatnot. But when they inside the prison, you know, some of them, you know, they take up working out, they take up reading, you know, some of them take up religion. You know, they got this structure. Most of them go to bed at a certain time. They in the bed early. Then they turn around, they waking up early because they have to go to work or they have to go to classes, you know, get their GED, stuff like that. You know, they're not on the street. You know, a lot of these inmates abusing drugs, you know, high out their mind every day, popping pills, shit like that. You know, they have access to that. You know, is it supposed to happen in a prison? No. Let's be honest, you know, a lot of shit slips through the cracks in the prison system, you know, but to the ones that are actually trying to better themselves, you know, put themselves in a better predicament when the day comes that they finally get released from prison, you know, a lot of them develop that discipline, that structured routine. Man, I see a lot of these inmates, you know, a lot of them wake up 5 a.m, you know, they drink their coffee, they got their uniform on, they going to work, going to school, going to class, they in the bed early. Like I say, they work out. Some of them work out damn near every day. You know, the only thing they can really eat is what we serving them, and then off a commissary, you know, some of them watching their diet now. They're not under the influence of drugs, whatnot, shit like that, you know. So when I see these inmates, you know, they come up to me, some of them, they short time or they finna go home soon. And I'm sitting there talking to them. I'm like, so, okay, so what's your plan? What you gonna do? You know, what you gonna do when you go home? And, you know, a lot of them, they got all kind of ideas. You know, a lot of them say they gonna go out, get their CDL, start driving trucks or, you know, delivery trucks for Amazon. They gonna go into business for themselves, maybe start personal training, things like that. And I feel as my job as a correctional officer is to encourage them, you know, and to motivate them and inspire them to go back out into society, you know, and try to make something of themselves, you know. Don't repeat their mistakes in the past, you know. Just because you make a mistake, you know, and you got to sit down and do your time, you know, I feel like as long as they got a release date, I feel like they deserve a second chance and whatnot, man. Depending on the crime, I don't get into all like the politics as far as like what they did or what their charges is. But if we just, it's a cool inmate, we talk, because one thing about it, working in corrections, you see these people every day and whatnot. You kind of develop a working relationship with the inmates. You might be standing there, they might be standing right next to you waiting on the next move. They get ready to call the move, and you start having little conversations like that. And one of the topics that I get into with a lot of the inmates, they may be short time, like as far as what's their plan when they go home. I feel like, man, you gotta have a plan. That's outside. That's even outside of just being locked up. Being incarcerated. You have to have a plan for your life at anywhere you are in this world. Whether you free or whether you locked up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to encourage them and whatnot. To stick to what they said they was going to do. You get out. I tell them. I'll be like, man, man, learn from this shit. Don't repeat the same mistake. I don't want to see you come back in here. Only time I want to see you is in the free world, and I want to see you doing good. I want to see you doing something productive. If I happen to run into you in the free world, I want you to be like, hey, man, I've been doing good. I haven't been back to prison since. I got a steady job, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm taking care of my responsibilities. I'm readjusting to being back out in society. That's the only time I want to see these dudes. I don't want to see them come back, reoffend. Does it happen? It happens all the time. Like I said, a lot of inmates, they in and out. They get out. I've seen inmates, man, do a 12, 15-year stretch, get out. They ain't out. I seen a couple of them, they wasn't out, but damn 6 months to a year, and they just came back on a fresh, damn new charge. Man, got one dude, man, he wasn't gone, man, but like a year. He came back. I was like, what happened, bro? He was like, man, I got caught selling, I think he was selling methamphetamine. He said he got caught with 20 pounds of methamphetamine. They gave him a fresh 20 years. I said, man, you just don't learn, bro. I'm like, well, shit, I guess you will have to sit down and do a whole nother 20 years then, I guess, man. So you can't help everybody. But, to the ones that's trying to, go out there and do something and be something and make something of themselves, I try to encourage them to the best of my ability within the scope of my job, because I feel like I'm just not a correctional officer. I feel like we play many different roles as prison staff working in the prison system, just because my job as a correctional officer and my co-worker's job title may be counselor or case manager doesn't mean I don't play that role when it comes to dealing with the inmates, So when they come up to me and they telling me stuff like that, or they asking me for advice, as far as getting back, readjusted to a side, I try to help them to the best of my ability, because like I said, I don't want to see them come back. I don't want to see nobody in them circumstances. If I can help somebody, to get out there and to actually do something good and not go back into their old ways, whether it be running with gangs, selling dope, robbing, whatever they were doing. If I can help steer them away from that, then I feel like I've done my job, But yeah, I feel, the best thing for some people, man, especially like the youth and the youngsters, man, that's out here, man, they out of control. They just doing anything these days, man. I'm talking about, man, they out here wilding out, man, shooting up anything and everything, robbing, looting stores, just on straight bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Don't give a fuck about nothing, That's why I feel like them going to prison, man, I feel like, I hate to say it, I don't want to see nobody get incarcerated, but for all your choices that you make out here, there's consequences, whether it's good or bad, And if you obviously, if you making bad decisions, ain't nothing good finna come out of it, Everybody out here that's doing bad, doing dirt, selling drugs, selling dope, fucking robbing, whatever they doing, man, that's illegal, man. It eventually catches up to them, whether they end up going to prison or they end up going to the grave, it just is what it is, So, like I said, man, I try to help as best to my ability, man. I love to hear when an inmate, they better to go home and they telling me they plans, I be trying to motivate them and encourage them. I'm like, okay, I like it, man. Whatever, as long as it sounds good, I like it, man. Go for it. Go for the shit, man. What you got to lose? You know, you coming home fresh off a bid, you ain't got shit to lose, man. Go for it. Chase your dreams. As long as you doing something positive, and like I said, you ain't breaking the law or going back into your old ways, I'm all for it, you know? Me, I'm a tax-paying citizen. I'm a law-abiding citizen. You know, I do my hours, I go home, and I live my life, you know? So I feel like if they going out to the back into the world on that type of time, man, then I'll do everything I can within the policy and procedure to help them out. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see people do good, you know, even when they make mistakes. You know, I feel like people deserve a second chance and whatnot. But yeah, a lot of good. You know, people may say, you condoning people going to prison, people being incarcerated, you know. I mean, which is bad, but when you look at it from the angle I'm coming at it from, you know, some of these people, man, let's just be realistic, man. If they don't have something to deter them, you know, maybe in the form of going to prison and sitting down and doing that time, they just going to be on a crash course to disaster, man. They going to crash out. They going to end up getting killed out here, you know, or it's inevitable they going to go to prison anyways, you know. So I just try, like I said, I just try to encourage people and motivate them, man. You know, I want to see people do good. I want to see people when they're in the prison, you know, trying to be productive, doing the programming while they in prison, working out, going to their classes, doing their job, all that type of stuff, man. All that stuff is teaching them things that they probably didn't have on the street, man, when they were doing what they were doing. You know, responsibility, discipline, you know. You got to be up. We unlock the units at 6 a.m. So, you know, when they may have been on the street, they may have been up goddamn 2, 3, 4 in the morning, clubbing, selling dope or whatever. But they know they in prison now, so they got a job. They got to get up at 6 a.m. So they know they can't be up all night in the cell, or whether they in the dormitory. They can't just be up all night. They know they got to get up at 6 a.m. So we teaching them structure. We teaching them discipline, responsibility, accountability, stuff like that, you know. And like I said, you can't help everybody, you know. A lot of inmates, man, the statistics say, and I've seen it firsthand, you know, a lot of them going to reoffend. They're going to end up coming back. Some of them, it's sad to say, but they're going to just spend the rest of their life coming to prison, going to prison. You know, it just is what it is, man. You know, I see all the time, dude, like I said, dude get out, you know, and it's like they do 12, 15 years. You would think somebody learned, like, you just gave 12, 15, 20 years of your life, you know, lost family. When you in prison, man, a lot of times these dudes, when family members die, they don't get to go to the funeral. You know, I done had dudes telling me, man, I've been locked up 20 years. My mom done died. My dad done died. I had siblings die, man. It looks like the world is just passing me by. You would think they would want, once they get out, they will want to change their ways, man. But some people, man, they just don't learn. They go right back into the life, fall right back into the trap of what they was doing, you know. And they think they learned how to beat the system and shit. They gonna get out there and they gonna do it differently this time, man. They don't last a year, man. Come right back, got a fresh 15-year sentence. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers just don't learn, you know. But you can't help everybody. But to the ones that can be helped, like I said, I offer everything I can to them. You know, I try to, like I said, motivate them, encourage them to go out there and follow their plan. You know, they got stuff written down. You know, we got counselors, case managers, the education department. We got there's a big push, you know, with Reentry, offering programs to the inmates to help them get readjusted and to help them out when they go back into society. You know, there's stuff like helping them get their driver's license, their voter card, you know, helping them find jobs, secure housing, you know, if they don't have like a home plan for when they go home. Because, you know, when you go home, if you on papers like parole or probation, you got to have like a solid home plan. Some people might not have no family, so it's either they got to do the rest of their sentence till their sentence expires, or they got to go to the halfway house, you know. So they got programs and all kind of, it's like a big push to really try to help the inmates readjust when they finna go home in a short time, you know. So I play a part in that. I play a role in that too, man. Even if it's just having a conversation with an inmate, you know, and discussing, you know, what his plans are when he gets out, you know, if it can help him, you know, stay on the right path when they finally do go home and not fall back into their old ways, you know, trying to take shortcuts, you know, committing crimes, then I'm here for it, baby. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I have merchandise for sale, www.theghettobodybuilder.com. Now all kind of t-shirts, hoodies for sale. A lot of it gym related, fitness related, motivational quotes. Everything you see on my website, I designed personally myself. I came up with all the designs personally. So if you want to buy a shirt, t-shirt, man, it all comes back to me, you know. But yeah, man, I don't want to see nobody go to jail, you know, but when you out here and you making them type of decisions, you know, and the choices that you make, you know, like I said, it's a consequence for every choice you make, whether it's good or bad. You know, sometimes it is what it is, man. But going to prison may just be the best thing for some people, man. And help. Like I said, I had people all the time tell me, man, this was the best thing for me. You know, I had to have God sit me down, you know, so I could learn, so I could actually get some discipline, man. And because I was on the crash course, man, I was headed to the grave, you know. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.